board, yes. It's a good idea.
I mean, we don't have to discuss it, but.
I think we should just stay with what we got personally.
My offer still stands as, if you are okay with the amount of input that we currently have, then.
Then that should work.
That should work,
Okay.
but expect more out of me than.
Feeling any better? Good.
Got the COVID. Yesterday was the first day I tested negative. After 12 days.
Oh my God.
12 days. Wow.
Thank you. Yeah.
Very, very sick.
Yes. Very, very sick. It was like a really bad flu.
Was it the first time you got it?
Yeah. Escaped having it for 4 years.
Yeah.
But yeah. Got it.
Oh, man. I bet you felt Right, Mateo, right?
Survey.
Yes, ma'am, I believe so. Let me double check.
I think there were two.
Howdy, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, ex officio. We need one more for quorum, I think.
It's hard because along the greenway.
Like anybody really cares.
Planted is far enough off the trail.
Yeah, that's I mean, it's a pretty smart deal for you.
It's getting across that road. Is that problem?
That's a big road.
I didn't that road.
Well, we just need one more if we were gonna vote on anything.
It's always a gamble, Will.
It's always the one. If not, the pressure's off, and then we just chat about tree
I
stuff.
don't know that we have.
Oh, I see a film.
That'll be recorded.
That'll be the quorum.
Do we have any voting items?
I think we should vote on Nunnally Benzing, Julie Duncan to send to mayor and commission, approve minutes from last.
That's our quorum.
Good job. All right.
Good thing I came after all. I wasn't gonna be here.
Joe. Oh, there's Stephanie.
Uh,
No Joe though.
How many have we done now?
Say it ain't so, Joe.
Three, that isn't he.
Oh, he's definitely.
With a pregnant partner, there's
She's due in, like. May.
what? Really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So this is crunch time. Makes sense.
Last week, I'm like, do you have your bags packed? And he was like,
Sign in.
"If there's some stuff put, I'm like.
You get back. Yeah.
Big air.
Just looking out of the way. Oh, it's like.
If you had to, you could just run back home, get whatever you needed.
I had long labor. This, I started labor a few days ago. So,
Oof.
You just never know.
well, that's true.
It happened very quickly.
My friend's first labor was only 4 hours and she barely made it to the hospital in time.
In that case, you would want a bath.
4 hours.
The second one was even shorter. She went from no labor to full labor and like that.
Wow.
So,
I had the opposite. My baby did not want to leave my body.
yeah.
No.
2 weeks overdue.
Yeah.
It would still be in there.
It's so warm in here.
The thing is, my water broke, so they said, well, it's gonna come out, right? So they put me on Pitocin, which was, I did not feel like control of it at all. Yeah. You know, my mom told me later that with my brother Steve, her water broke and they didn't.
Hey,
She was still pregnant too.
look, he's got his bag packed.
We were just talking about how many.
That's your hospital bag, right? You're ready to go at any time, right, Joe? That's your hospital bag. You're ready to go at any time?
Yeah, now I need to pack that.
All right. Well, I think we've gotten quorum. Jesse, if you'd like to call us to order.
Yes, I will call this meeting to order at 4:10 on. Well. Everybody make sure you sign in on the sign-in sheet. Mateo sent out the January, wait. Yeah.
January minutes.
Minutes. Did everybody have a chance to review those minutes? Any changes or additions or suggestions? Do I have a motion to approve those minutes?
I'll move that.
Second.
There are copies of the agenda floating around. One item that
You need to vote.
well, I was gonna say before we vote on the agenda is, we need to discuss.
Let me vote on the.
Oh, I'm
On
sorry.
the minutes, yeah.
Yes.
All those who say yay to approving the minutes, please raise your hand. Any nays? That's what I like to see. Very good.
Stickler.
Before we approve the agenda, we need to add to the agenda the discussion of the 2024 presidency, as Mary has resigned her presidency. So for the third or fourth year in a row, we are presidentless. Do I have a motion to approve the amended agenda with the addition of that?
I think Sean said second.
Mary Songster.
So should we add to the agenda talking about Jesse McClellan being the acting president? Or any others, any other takers?
The better question. But we need to accept the agenda before we discuss. So, Sean motion to approve the agenda. Do I have a second? Joe seconds. All in favor? Okay. Should we discuss that first?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. As I said, last year, as well as the year before, and possibly the year before that as well, I am willing to continue on unless there's somebody else who would like the position, which I encourage you to take on, with the caveat that I don't have a ton of time commitment to the presidency. So if you're okay with the level of commitment that I have previously given, then I will carry on. Discuss. Would anybody else like to be president?
I'll say we got a bunch of former presidents over here. Jesse, that's very generous of you, but I would encourage someone to step up into the position. It's really not that bad, but Jesse just took on an executive director role in Atlanta, so she's being really nice. Jesse, I don't want you to be president 4 times in a row.
Thanks, Joe.
Sir. I think somebody that's maybe coming into their own, it seems daunting. It's really not. It's a great experience. I would encourage someone that's maybe got a year or 2 under their belt to say, Jesse, you're too generous.
I mean, to be fair, I've not signed up for the position for the last 2 years.
I would encourage that not to be the default. Is there anybody here that been on the council a year or 2 and is thinking, maybe wants a gig for the next 10 months?
I think traditionally we kind of voted them who wasn't here, right?
It's true.
I think Mary Songster volunteered for it, and before that, Mary Adway volunteered for it.
History of Mary's volunteering and then turning it down. Mary's
So if you commit to it. Oh, and wait, and then Patrick Perry also
Patrick Perry, yep.
agreed to it and then moved on.
So though I meet the recommended time for personal reasons, I don't want to say that I will and not be able to commit the full year. continue to do a Patrick thing. Which I know that was like.
Or a Mary, or a.
He had a good opportunity that came up, so I totally understand. So. This year.
That's fair. Wow, that was generous, Joe. Here I am.
For those not volunteering, what are kind of the reservations?
Well, I think that only Yvette and Holly are eligible because Pam is the treasurer. Well, Phil, technically you could do it. But I think Phil's also in the position that I'm in. How many times have you been president?
One.
Oh, that's it. Well, Phil.
Yeah.
However, I was more than president. I was the community forester and president at the same time.
Doing secretary stuff
Billy-
also.
Billy volunteered me for presidency and then walk out the door. He was our former community forester before Rod. I'm counting as two.
Name some of the others, like, they're not in this room.
Mary Attaway,
Was going to really.
going to step down.
Yeah, she's a right.
Right. She has agreed to stay on. Oh, yeah, Lauren. She would be a great
Lauren.
candidate.
I think so.
So let's vote her in as president. and then-
Interim president, maybe.
Bet, no. Do that.
Sign up for something. That's.
Okay, well, for now, we'll table it and then maybe revisit it next meeting when Lauren's here and see if she will.
We have a short list with Lauren's name.
We'll make a list with like top 3 as her.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe somebody should actually talk to her.
I run into her quite frequently. I'll have a conversation with her. She lives right around the corner from me.
I mean, I hate to just drop it on her
Right.
next meeting.
I do think she would be a great. Certainly better than me. I mean, it can't be worse than me, so.
No, I think people could definitely be worse than you for sure.
All right, we'll table it until next meeting or until I talk to them. CTC annual report to mayor and commission. Mateo?
So looking back at some of our old correspondence, some of our old minutes, it looked like in February is typically the time when we present an annual report. I remember hearing about it really briefly when I first started in the position. I think Mary Songster did it last year. But I'm not sure, is it typically a president that is creating that annual report? I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's supposed to be the president with help from you.
Okay,
And I submitted my
the treasury.
financial report to
Okay.
go with it.
So I
Okay,
guess you and I just need to sit down and.
we'll get it worked out.
Yeah.
Send on the Rodney. Oh, pretty good.
What, one of the old reports?
It's
Yeah.
really just a list of like the things that we've done. throughout
That's
the
what we've
year.
done.
Yeah,
It should be pretty easy to get.
that's not that hard.
I'll do it sometime this week. We'll email back and forth
Okay.
and get that handled. Okay.
And then the next item is to vote to send Natalie Benzing and Duncan to mayor and commission. Do we do it separately or
Yeah, let's do it separately.
do I have a motion to approve Natalie Benzing as a committee member? Thank you, Holly. Do I have a second? Thank you, Bill. All in favor?
No,
Any opposed?
no nays.
And then do I have a motion to approve Julie Duncan as a new committee member? I have,
So we have Pam and who else seconded?
Sean,
Sean?
all in favor? Any opposed?
Nice. Very nice.
The next item is the Rin Allen Founders Tree Trust. Have you been in contact with her? We need to facilitate the transfer of the.
She already gave the check to Mateo and it's in the bank.
Yep,
Fantastic.
It's
So-
you can see it on the treasurer's report that I emailed them.
Okay,
$11,907 is what they provided us. The planting that we want to do at the Welcome Center, I don't think is going to happen this Christmas because they're still working on that side of the building. Or I'm sorry, this season, this holiday, this winter. I don't know where I was getting Christmas from. So I think it will have to be next growing season, next planting season that we plant it. And I think I'm actually gonna have to go back because they were supposed to remove a Bradford pear when they were doing the installation, but I don't think they ever did. So we may end up having to remove it ourselves.
Okay.
We'll see, or buildings.
So just for my bookkeeping, is that considered trees for tomorrow money or is that considered just tree council money? Cause I have two separate buckets.
It is in the Community Tree Council money market account. But
But
if,
they're not separated.
okay, if we
that way.
want to move it over specifically to Trees for Tomorrow, I think we totally can. Is Trees for Tomorrow typically anything that we do planting wise or?
No, that was a specific fund set up to honor Carl Jordan.
Okay,
But there's not enough money in Trees for Tomorrow to do our obligation for the number of trees we promised to plant. The cost of trees has gone up by quite a bit. Phil, you probably know more than I do
Well,
about this.
that's pretty good summarization right there. I wouldn't feel obligated though to put this money into that category. My recommendation would be to leave it in the general fund.
Mhm.
And then if we choose at some point to continue to build out the trees for tomorrow and without money in hand, then we can deal with it piecemeal, you know.
Okay. I think that seems reasonable,
As we go along.
because that was specifically designated money back when the Trees for Tomorrow fund was put together.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to see this gift obligated to a particular category.
okay.
That seems reasonable.
so I know that a particular part of the obligation is to plant at the Welcome Center, but certainly not all of the funds are earmarked for that. Should we, in good faith, like start planting with the funds? Even though we can't plant at the Welcome Center until possibly next year or further out?
I wonder if optically that looks bad if the first thing we use the money for is something other than what was promised. But I think Ren is pretty flexible. It's her and Roger Calvin, so they're the remaining members. I don't think either of them would be very upset with it. Especially considering we're probably gonna have to wait till next winter for the Georgia oaks to be planted.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I say that because I feel like we should show that we are using this money to plant trees as, like, because that's really what their goal is. I mean, of course, they want to remember,
Mary Ann Hodgson. Mhm.
but, and we do have that obligation, but the money is meant to be spent on planting trees. That's the whole point. So,
Maybe we could ask her if, if they care.
that's a good, yeah. Okay.
I mean, it might be worth consulting with Transportation and Public Works to find out places where trees have been taken out recently to make way for sidewalks and greenway and firefly trail and stuff like that.